Good morning, PC fam. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. We are international. Today, y'all know what it is. It's chill with chill. We're gonna do what we always do. We're gonna talk good hoop talk. We're gonna cover basketball, and we're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna send a link out.
Mhm.
Y'all know what to do when y'all see that link. Click on it. Get up here. Get in the lobby. I'll pull you up, and we'll talk ball. Chill. How's
Mhm.
it going? How's
Saturday, Ox.
Saturday? How's Saturday treating you?
You know how Saturday is, Ox. Saturday is one of my favorite days, man. Saturday is the
Hmm.
weekend, but it's Saturday with Chill was always one of my favorite shows. So I really dig talking basketball on Saturday with you, no doubt.
No doubt. No doubt. For sure. For sure.
Hmm.
Well, we're gonna start this Saturday off. And first and foremost, let's say happy birthday to the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant. It is Mamba Day. It's the Mamba's birthday today. Sure he would have been 47 today.
47 years old today. Yes, sir.
Uh,
Hmm.
man, man, that was I mean, we all know the loss that Kobe Bryant was to the basketball community. Sure, I just want to ask you what does Kobe Bryant mean to basketball? Not the NBA, but
Yep.
what does Kobe Bryant mean to basketball? Who was Kobe Bryant to basketball when he was with us, and the impact he made when he was with us?
Yep.
And even further, like what do you I mean, are you okay with speculating on maybe like where he was going with
Hmm.
with what he was doing with basketball?
I think each generation has a player that embodied what that generation was. Like when I was growing up, I caught the other side of Doc and the other side of Jabbar, and I was raised with Jordan and what Jordan was. There's a generation of kids that were raised on My uncle, he was raised on Chamberlain. And I also was raised on Magic. There's a generation of kids that were raised on Steph Curry. The impact that Kobe Bryant had on everybody in the sports world with his untimely death was immense, man. It was incredible how much people cared about him. I've always said this since he passed away, and it still bothers me to this day how people talk about him, because I know that they didn't talk about him this much in terms of how much they loved him when he was around. And I stand on it, and I will stand on it and die on this hill when I say that I wish that you guys would have talked about him like this when he was around, because he needed to hear this. The way that you guys talk about him now, the way that you guys love him now, I think that if you would have talked about him like this when he was around, I think that he would have I think that he would have been an even bigger deal today, because I think that that would have motivated him. I don't think that that would have done anything but motivate him to be even more than what he is, and it would have put a different respect on who he was. I think that when he ended up getting in trouble, that kind of shone a light on him that really wasn't necessary, because we didn't even know what was going on. But as far as a basketball player, I mean, he was nothing short of fantastic. Like I said, for a generation of kids who grew up watching you, who embody you, like he was their Michael Jordan of their generation. That's who he was. He was the one who DeMar DeRozan said he was trying to be like Kobe Bryant, right? And these are guys in the NBA. Devin Booker is like, yo, I was trying to be like Kobe Bryant. This was my guy. This is who I was trying to be like. So I think that when you have that kind of influence on people, when you have that kind of influence on the game, that can never be forgotten. 25 years from now, 30 years from now, it's still going to resonate how good he was. I mean, this is the guy who played with Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq said at the time that he think Kobe might be the best player in the world. And he on the same team with the best player in the world. He was saying that's how good Kobe Bryant was. And I was lucky and I was fortunate enough to see Jordan live, and not just on TV. I was actually in the building when Jordan played. I was also fortunate enough to see Kobe Bryant when he was alive, live and in the building. And he was definitely worth the price of admission, Ox. He was the next iteration of the two guard in terms of athleticism, footwork, just getting buckets, just being a professional basketball player like that. It was just so different when you talk about a guy like him and when you watch a guy like him. When we see the expansion of media today, I mean, when he was around, he was must-see TV back then, and it wasn't that many games on TV. Like, we didn't have League Pass like that. We didn't have TNT and ESPN and NBA TV. We didn't have all of that stuff back then, right? It wasn't that much going on where you got to see him as much as you could see him today. And he was must-see TV back then, which means that if he was around today, sure, there would be a bigger avenue or bigger vice to criticize him more. But I can tell you right now, Ox, he would have been even a bigger deal today than what he was back then. No question about it. And the Black Mamba was something else. He was nothing short of fantastic.
100%. Just to run it down to y'all, Kobe Bryant, 18-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Defense, 5-time NBA champ, 2-time Finals MVP, 1-time League MVP, 2-time scoring champ. He retired with 33,600 total points, and both number 8 and number 25 were retired by the Los Angeles Lakers. Chill, could you I do honestly, Chill, I do believe that with the way the media is now, with just a lot, the world outside the mainstream media, the podcast, the media, I think the main thing that we're missing is Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? I think Kobe Bryant was made for this breaking down the game. I can't remember what the segment was called, but there was the segment he was doing where he was just breaking down game. And, yes, and that was some really good stuff. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. I think Kobe Bryant interviews and things like that will be great. And I also think, and I'm not talking about how some people are questioning could Tracy McGrady win with Shaq. I'm not talking about that type of talk, but I do think some of the other talk would be toned down a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be toned down a bit if you had to answer the Mamba. You know what I'm saying? I 100% believe that. Chip, what about the women's game and where it is today? Do you think that? I mean, it seemed to me that Kobe was pushing that forward as well.
He 100% was pushing that forward, and not only was he pushing it forward, there were people behind him that were pushing it forward because the strides that he made as a coach. To your point, Ox, when you talked about what it is today, like the platform that we have today. If Bryant was around today, he would either be on ESPN or TNT or maybe even just like short segments because the way his mind worked as a basketball player, there's no way we can not hear from him. No way. Like, you know what, like the Manning brothers do on Monday Night Football when they play? That's what Bryant would probably have a segment like that with him in terms of basketball, because the way his mind worked and the way he saw the game, there's no way we can not tap into that and understand the game. Now, I will tell you that, to your point, a lot of the chatter about him probably wouldn't be as loud if he was around, because you would have to explain yourself. If you would have to explain yourself when you said that, yo, I was this nice, or I was as good as him, or I could have done this with this team. Because especially when you're talking about him, it just would not have gone over. So you would have had to explain yourself, which I'm more than prepared to do. But with that being said, him in terms of women's basketball, I think that he with putting it to the forefront like he did, I think his motivation was a little bit different than other people because he had a daughter that played basketball. So because he had a daughter that played basketball, it was very important to him that his daughter learned how to play basketball. She wasn't one of these AAU kids who was just out there to win games. No, he was teaching her how to play basketball. And not only was he teaching her how to play basketball, he was teaching those young girls that he was coaching, he was teaching them how to play basketball. And that was the future of basketball with him. And now you got Candace Parker working with him, which means that you would have had other women, like in the WNBA today, you would have had other women coming to him, working with him even more, because he was teaching basketball. He wasn't just teaching you how to win. He was teaching you how to play basketball, because Kobe Bryant, at the end, I always equate guys like that to the late, great Biggie Smalls. And the reason why I bring up Biggie Smalls, Ox, because people hear Biggie as a MC, and they hear like the hits on the radio. Biggie was a real MC, though. Biggie
Right.
was a Biggie wasn't just a rapper. He was a real MC. He's a dude that you could catch him at an open mic and he would just rock. Well, I feel the same way about Kobe. Kobe Bryant was a real basketball player. He wasn't just a dude who was, I just played for the Lakers and I'm just really good. I go get my check and I go home. No, he was way more than that. He was definitely a basketball player who taught footwork, who taught you how to who taught you how to recognize defenses, go over film, how to hold the basketball, how to protect the ball, how to swing through. It's small things like that. He was very detailed in things like that, which would explain why the game on the women's side was growing the way it was growing. Because a lot of times we see the women's game as just women who don't really play basketball, when in reality, women are way more. I feel like the women's game is way more detailed than any other game that's played. And I think that Kobe Bryant was enhancing that. And I think that we got robbed of him not being around anymore off the strength that had he been around, I think he would have enhanced a whole bunch of other things. And we got robbed of that. But we still did get some of it. So I do hold on to that part of it.
Right. Right. Yes. Man, R.I.P. Mamba,
Yeah.
Gigi, all the young ladies that
Mhm.
were on that flight and their families as well. Man, so it's a great day, man. It's a great day, Mamba Day. Happy
Ox,
birthday.
where were you, by the way? Where were you that day you found out? Where were you?
I was at home. I was asleep. I was asleep. I woke up to that. My son, actually my oldest son, him and his mom, they called me in the morning. It was like, did you hear about it? I was like, I didn't turn the TV on or anything. I was like, what are you
Right.
talking about? It was
Right.
it was kind of, one of those things. It was just hard to believe. When something like that happens, you always like kind of like, what? Like, no way. And
Yeah.
it was pretty sad, man. We lost. Yeah, we lost a great one that day, y'all.
Yes, we did.
We lost a lot of great people that day, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But speaking of the women's game, chill. Let's
Mhm.
just do a little housekeeping real quick. First and foremost, y'all, we will be on playback today watching the Aces against the Mystics, so we get to see the MVP versus the Rookie of the Year.
Mm.
Uh, maybe. Chill. We
Mhm.
we seen whew, Alyssa Thomas. Chill.
Mhm.
Let's get straight into it, chill. Let's go ahead, talk about it. Alyssa Thomas. What just happened?
Well, the same thing that's been happening, over the course of the season. I mean, it didn't just happen, but it's been happening over the course of the season. It's just gotten louder now because that playoff race is a lot closer. And the crazy thing, Ox, is you were the one who turned me on to her like that. Because again, I thought she was just a dirty work girl. That's what I thought she was. When I seen her when she played in Connecticut, I did not know she was this kind of distributor. I did not know that she was this kind of playmaker. I did not know that she was this kind of ball handler. I did not know she was any of those things. I thought she was Udonis Haslem. That's who I thought she was, a better version of Udonis Haslem. I'm looking at this girl. She's a dirty work girl. She'll get it off the glass. She'll run the lane. She's actually good in stop and pop. She can make a shot. You can actually go to her for a bucket, whether it's on the box or a draw and kick. But like, she's not manning your offense. No, she's not. She's not conducting the show. She ain't doing that. Well, actually, yes, she is. In fact, she 100% is doing that, and she's doing it on a team that's a bona fide playoff team. I mean, Ox, I think if I'm not mistaken, and you can straighten me out with this, I think that they're a game out the 3 spot. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think that they're
Yeah,
half. I think they're half a game out the 3 spot, and a
they
game and a half out the 2 spot.
right,
And this is all off the
right.
strength of her. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Phoenix has a really good team, but I think that she's the engine that makes that team go. I mean, she had a 6th triple double yesterday, which broke the record that she set, by the way, her own record, and she just broke that record with her 6th triple double. I mean, when you talk about, and Ox, you and I just had this conversation. When you talking about not just being the better player, because Ox, you will get no argument from me. Asia is a better player, right? She's a better. I think she is definitely a better player than Alyssa Thomas. No, I won't argue that. But when you're talking about a player who's the most valuable to their team's success and what they're doing, how they are contributing to winning, how they're contributing to their team's success. I know Asia just kicked the door open and was like, "Hang on for a second. I think that Alyssa Thomas, what she's done over the course of this season, I think that I think we got one of these kind of races.
Right.
I think we got one of these kind of races to the end. I wouldn't be surprised if Asia won it. I'm not going to argue that, Ox. I would not be surprised if she won it. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Alyssa Thomas won it neither.
Right. I mean, 13 points, 12 rebounds, and 16 assists ain't no joke. That ain't no joke.
On, what you doing? What we doing, Ox? Again, that goes back to what you just, that goes back to what we talked about before. To have a triple-double, just one of them, you have to be involved in almost every play of the game. Because if you figure, we in the WNBA, what are they shooting? 60, 65 shots a game? If we shooting 65 shots a game, and if I'm 15, 14, and 17, I'm involved in at least 80% of the game. Not 80% just being out here. I'm talking about 80% of the game, whether I'm on the glass, whether I'm distributing, whether I'm scoring. That's a big deal to do that. And she has 6 of them this year.
Right.
Man.
So chill. Today is very interesting. It's very interesting, right? Because what we have here is since Thursday it's shifted already. Okay, so obviously Minnesota's still holding down that 1 seed. The Atlanta Dream are in the 2nd seed by themselves. They're 6 games behind. The Aces are 3rd seed by themselves. They're half a game behind Atlanta Dream, right? The Phoenix Mercury and the New York Liberty are both tied at 4, 22 and 14, both half a game behind the Aces. But chill. The New York Liberty and the Atlanta Dream, they're going to play here in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
The Aces are getting ready to play the Washington Mystic.
Yeah.
So
they should be.
So right. So if the Liberty beat the Dream, and the Aces beat the Mystic, that drops Atlanta down. That puts the Aces by themselves in the 2 seed, and Phoenix will still be back in the 4 seed. Does that mean anything, or is that just is that no big deal? Plus what also it does, chill, because of originally when the Aces and the Liberty were 4 and 5, that had the Aces playing in first round of the playoffs. And now if the Aces were to move to the 2 seed, they're going to have either Seattle, Indiana, or more than likely Golden State. One of those 3 teams. I mean, I guess the Sparks still have action technically. So things can shake up heavily today.
Well, you just said it yourself, Ox. So New York, they play
Atlanta.
They play Atlanta today. Ox, if they beat them, they're tied for the 2 spot, which means that Atlanta could go from 2 to 5 today. That could happen. But they could drop to the 5 seed. The Aces move right up, right? The Aces would move up to the 2 spot, and Phoenix, who didn't even play, would move up to the 2 spot. I mean, Phoenix would move up to the 3 spot. So, I mean, this race in the WNBA is really serious. So if you look at what the standings
no, chill, because if Atlanta lose, that would put them at 23 and 14, so they'd still be half a game up on the Mercury.
They would still be a half a game up on the Mercury. So they would drop to the 4th spot instead. And Mercury, they would be tied with the 4th spot. Meanwhile, the Liberty would move up.
Yeah, the Liberty would move up. So the Mercury,
sure.
Yes, the Mercury would drop. They would drop to the 5. Atlanta would drop to the 3, and New York would go up to the 4. So the Mercury could go. It
would be a half a game ahead of Phoenix. Correct. So if it ended, so if that was the case and it ended at that point, so Atlanta would drop to 3. And when Atlanta drop into 3, that means that they would have to see Seattle, who is 6 right now. Let's see, 2, 3, 4. They would have to see Indiana. I'm sorry.
Indiana.
Yeah, they'd have to see Indiana, not Seattle. They'd have to see Indiana. And Atlanta would have to see Indiana, which I think that they could beat them. To be honest with you, I said this to you before, Ox, and I'm still standing on it. I think Caitlin Clark is out for the season. I'd be surprised if she came back. I'd be surprised if she came back for the rest of the regular season, even though they're in a tight playoff race. That would put Vegas at 2, and they would have to see Seattle in the first round. Which, and if Ron is listening, Ron, they serve y'all. To be honest, I think they.
Chill. I swear, I hope that happens so bad. I want Seattle to play the Aces so bad. And you know what? I'm driving up to Seattle. You know, 2 hours south. I'm driving up to Seattle. I'm picking up Bryant. I'm taking him to the game. We're
Yes,
watching
sir.
that. We're gonna watch game 3 for sure live. Oh, I can't wait. Oh,
Yes.
that'd be great. That'd be
Yes,
great.
sir, Ox. We are going to that game, Ron. Whatever you got going on, cancel it. Because we are
Cancel
in
it.
the arena. Yes, we are going to
All
that
that.
game.
Oh, he was talking so heavy.
Yes, he was. Just about a month ago. Yo, watch out. They just traded for such and such, and we just did this. And
Yeah.
break, Ron. All right. Mhm. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, that's what the WNBA is right now, y'all. Y'all keep a close eye on that. If you want to keep a close eye on that, come through Playback TV. We'll be there today to watch. Like I said, we'll be watching the Aces versus the Mystics. I really wanted to do the Liberty versus Atlanta, obviously, because that game is weighs so much, but I won't be able to make it, so we're gonna do the other game instead, which should still be a good game, man. So y'all make sure to get to Playback and check it out, y'all. But moving back to the NBA, y'all. Let's talk about some things. Let's talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all. I'm moving, messing with my phone. My phone's acting up, but I got it right here, y'all. Don't worry about a thing. So the NBA season, 2 months away, but it feels like tomorrow, right? It feels like tomorrow. Everybody, I've made it clear that I think Luka Doncic is coming for that MVP. But chill, these are the 5 guys that Stephen A. Smith has us looking out for, according to him.
Yep.
I want to name these names. I want to ask you, are these guys, should we be looking out for these guys? Yes and no. Why? Do you have the same 5? Do you want to take anybody out, add anybody in? You know, the regular routine. Routine. Let's start with number 1, Anthony Davis. Number 2, Luka Doncic. I can see why he has those 2 top. Obviously, they got traded for each other, new franchises. At 3, Kevin Durant, another guy that just got traded to a new franchise. Jimmy Butler, also traded to a new franchise last year. And then Kyrie Irving, who I don't expect to see until late February. I mean, late January at the earliest.
Around the All-Star break is when it should get louder to talk with him around the All-Star break.
Has Kyrie ever had this significant of an injury before? I know he's been hurt before. No? Okay.
Nothing like this. Nothing
like this at all. Is that why Stephen A. has us looking out for Kyrie to see if he can come back?
Yes. Yes. I think more than anything. But there's a few guys that I would take out of that, and a couple of guys that I would put in. So, for example, Ox, I think he had at number 1, he had Anthony Davis. Well, at number 1, I got Wemby. And the reason why I got Wemby is because I'm ready to see a full season of Wemby. And we got cut short last year of Wemby, who was on his way to doing something special as a blocks king. In addition to him being a blocks king, I saw the progression in his jump shot. I know that you didn't particularly love him as a jump shooter, and he could be more of a box player. I think I'm going to get more of that this season. So I'm looking out for more of that from him. More quick hits, more rim running, because we got Foxy and him together. And we're going to, and I'm hoping, barring any health issues, I'm going to get a whole season of that from him. And I think San Antonio is going to be a lot better. I think that this is the 3rd year in a row, or not even the 3rd year. I might have said this to you a couple of days ago. I think we had 3 straight years where we had Luka as the preseason league MVP. He has yet to win it. So I'm not really looking out for Luka more this year than I am Amen Thompson. I am super duper excited about this kid. And the reason why I'm super duper excited about him, because I see I see the progression, and I see the vision in what he could be. Ox, I'm on record and I'm saying it again, and I'm not getting roasted for it, but I still stand on it. I think he's the defensive player of the year next year, Ox. I think he's going to be the 3rd perimeter player to win it. So let's see. In terms of perimeter players, I got Gary Payton won it in '96. Meta won it in 2004. In terms of defensive player of the year, perimeter players, Meta won it in 2004. Marcus Smart won it in 22. We haven't had perimeter players win the defensive player of the year. I think he's the next perimeter player to win the defensive player of the year. I think he's going to win it next season. I think he's that good as a defensive player. And offensively, I think I'm going to see a jump from him. And when I say offensively, I don't just mean as a bucket getter. His ability to handle the ball, how much better he's going to be, how much better he's going to make that Houston offense. how much better he gets downhill, his finishing at the rim. I think his shot's going to be better this year. I'm really looking forward to Amen Thompson. He's one of those guys that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Another guy that we haven't talked about. I want to see Paolo Banchero. I'm really charged about Paolo Banchero. Ox, we talked about a couple of days ago. We talked about the televised games on the games that the NBA has broadcasted this year, and I'm trying to figure out why the Orlando Magic aren't on TV more. I've said this.
They got 14, right?
That's it, Ox. 14 games, man. I think they got
that pisses me off, yeah.
Why are they not on TV more? I said this to you before, Ox. When David Stern was here, David Stern made it his business to recognize who the talent was in the league, who the stars were in the league, even in the smaller markets, and get the camera on these guys. He saw this fun-loving, charismatic, dancing big man down in Orlando who was mean as a snake, who was tearing down backboards. David Stern said, we got to get the camera down in Orlando, and we got to put the camera on this guy more. I'm trying to figure out with that Orlando team, looking at what they have and looking at how good they can be, and this potentially 30-10 guy, because I think that's how good he can be. I think Paolo Banchero is. I think he's 30-10. I think he could be that good. I think he could be that good. Not necessarily this season, but at his best, I think he's 30.
Okay.
So not necessarily this season. I think I'm going to get a better season from him than I did last year. But I think at his best, I think he's 30-10-6. Like what Giannis is doing, I think he could do that.
Golly,
I think he can do that. I think he's that good.
Yes. So a kid, because that just made me realize how young Paolo still is. I just realized he's
22 years old.
To think that this dude is still getting better.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I think at his best, I think what Giannis is doing, 30-10-6, a block, and he's going to be perennially on the All-Pro team, first team. I think he's going to be that good, and we're going to have a conversation consistently about him being a top 5 player. Consistently, I think he's that good. So he's another guy that I'm thinking about, and another guy that we haven't talked about when we look at these guys that Stephen A has on the list. We don't talk enough about Cade Cunningham, and I'm looking forward to seeing more Cade Cunningham this year. See, so the guys
they don't have enough games either.
14 or 15 games this season. And they got a damn good team up in Detroit. They got a damn good team up there in Detroit. It's crazy how just 2 years ago, Ox, I had them losing 40 straight games. If it wasn't for that damn Toronto, I had them losing. I looked at the schedule, Ox. I was looking at the schedule. I'm like, these dudes ain't gonna win a game for 2 months. They're gonna lose 40 straight games, and Toronto threw a monkey wrench in that. Straight.
So you remember when Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire? Remember we was doing the home run counter back in the day?
Yes,
and
sir.
Every day we was like, here's the counter. I remember on Chill with Chill, we were doing the game losing counter, the losing game counter with the Pistons, and we went down there. We was like, man, they're not gonna win this.
Nope, lost. They're not beating them. Nope, they're not beating them either. I think this game's gonna be close, but they ain't beating them. Nope, and. Toronto came in and threw a monkey wrench in it. We go from that to a team that was in a dogfight with the Knicks in a first round playoff series, and they've upgraded their roster. They got Karis LeVert.
Right.
They got a long ball shooter, right? In addition to them getting long ball shooters, I think Cade's gonna come back better. They get Ivy back this season. So having these guys back, I'm really looking forward to Jalen Duren. I want to see his offensive progression as a bucket getter. So guys like Cade Cunningham, I'm not really interested in Kevin Durant like that. And the reason why and that's not to slight KD, Ox. What I'm saying is like I've seen this movie with KD before. I've seen him jump on a crew. I've seen him jump on a really good crew. So I know what it looks like when KD gets on a crew. We're talking about a mercenary here. Like it ain't news what I do. I'm a bucket getter. I'm a bucket getter. I'm a really good rim protector. I'm great in transition. I'm arguably the best one-on-one player in the game. So it ain't news what I'm going to do on a team that wasn't that good offensively. I'm going to enhance that. So I'm not looking forward to that more than I already know that that's going to be that, right? I already know that that's going to be that. I'm looking forward to the guys that we're not talking about, like Wemby, like Amen Thompson, like Banchero, like Cade Cunningham, guys like that. And lastly, and I know that this sounds a bit ridiculous, Ox, I'm really looking forward to seeing Donovan Mitchell this year. I gotta see it, bro. I gotta see it, Ox. This season is the year that I gotta see what everybody says that you can't do. Everybody says that you can't do. This is the year to do it, right? I feel like of all the times and all the spaces that you've been in and the way that you perform in the playoffs, right? Of all the spaces that you've been in the playoffs, and you've gotten busy 100%. This is without a doubt the best team that you've ever been on. And this is the best opportunity, I think, for you to win the NBA championship and for you to prove to everybody that I am that good. Not I'm good, because we already know that he's good, Ox, right? I still think he's the best two guard in the game. Money mid-range game, great stop and pop game, great finisher at the rim, will defend at a high level. He's not an all-league defender, but will defend at a high level 100%. But can he do what he hasn't been able to do over the course of years? I think we're going into year 9, Ox. So at this point, at 28 years old, I think we're going into year 9 with him. At 28 years old, we're at a space now where, okay, I mean, I can't keep saying next year. This is where we are now. This is 100% where we are. So those are the 5 guys that I'm looking at more than anything.
Okay, I like that list. But chill. There's a guy down in South Beach that we're seeing putting in a lot of work. You know, he's been real busy this offseason. I mean, you've been high on this guy for a while. You were real high on him last year.
Mm-hmm.
And judging by the way his partner in crime has been balling in the WNBA, I gotta assume he's been in the lab too with her, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm talking about Bam Adebayo, y'all. Mm-hmm. So are you taking a step back on Bam or what?
There was a point this season where I started to question, is Bam as good as I think he is? Maybe I'm wrong about him. Maybe he isn't the consistent 20-10, 5 and 2 block all-league defender that I think he is. Maybe he isn't arguably the best power forward in the game. Maybe he isn't. Only except I didn't give him the grace that I give other guys where, you know, he ended up moving to a different position, right? He ended up moving to the 4, which I think is his natural. I think that's his natural position. But with him moving to the 4, I think it was a transition. And the reason why I think it was a transition, because now there's different action that we're running. In addition to this different action that we're running, there's different space that I got to play in now. Don't get me wrong. I think the Miami Heat, they run an offense that's conducive to a lot of ball movement. But that was with Bam playing the 5. So, and the 4 was playing off the ball. Well, now Bam is playing on the ball, but he's playing the 4. And with him playing the 4, now I got to look more for my shot. I got to look more for my offense. And I think, Ox, last season I might have jumped the gun on him, and maybe I was a season too soon. Maybe that's this year, considering what they have. Even though I still think that they're a league guard away, I think Davion Mitchell's going to be good for them. I do, but I think that this season, with him now having that 1 year of him being under, with him being under at the 4 spot, and now having Khalil Ware at the 5 and supplanted at that 5 spot. And now Bam being able to be more aggressive as a power forward, be more aggressive as a scorer, be more aggressive as a defender. I think that what I was thinking about in the past, I think that could come to fruition this season. I was thinking about it last year because I've seen guys come from the Olympics and make that transition because the season is so short where, not the season, I'm sorry, because the layoff is so short. Like the Olympics are over and like the beginning of September, and training camp opens less than a month later. So you make that transition right from the Olympics right to the pro game. And a lot of plenty of guys have absolutely gotten busy. We saw Jason Tatum go from the Olympics to being a first team All-Pro. We saw Kevin Love do the same thing. Not a first team All-Pro, but we saw Kevin Love get busy, be an All-Star again, right? We see guys make that transition. And when I saw Bam in the Olympics last summer, I'm thinking, this is what I'm going to get this regular season. That's why I was so high on him. This season, I think what I was looking for last season, maybe this season is the season that I'm going to get that. So I'm excited to see Bam. I am.
2 things, Chill. I think I'm higher on Miami as a whole, as a team, than most people are. Mm-hmm. I think Miami's going to be in the mix with Detroit, Atlanta. I'm not as high on Atlanta as most people are, but I'm high on Miami. You know, I think Miami's going to be in that 5-6 range. I like what they're doing. I like Andrew Wiggins though, so I think that might be what it is. I think I really like Andrew Wiggins. Yep. Obviously, I really like Norman Powell, and Davion Mitchell. So, those three guys are, Davion and Andrew Wiggins, they got there last year, but they're still kind of new additions to me. And I think Khalil Ware probably is getting better during the offseason as well, too. So I'm really excited to see what Miami can do.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat, my man Don, he actually made a good point, something that I think I agree with. And I'm not saying this because we're trying to get rid of Malik Monk to get Russ. I'm saying this because I really think Russ would be a good addition to Miami. Well, what do you think about that, Phil?
I don't hate Russ in Miami. In fact, I like Russ in Miami. I literally just had this conversation with you guys a couple of days ago. Russ is what Terrell Owens is when he's coming into your camp and your number one wide receiver is supplanted at the number one wide receiver spot. T.O. comes into your camp, and now you're looking at your number one wide receiver like, uh-oh. Do I need to rethink what I'm doing here? Now, that's not to say that T.O. is taking his spot, but T.O. will have you looking at him, and he'll have you looking at your number one wide receiver going, I might have to look into getting this guy more involved in the offense than I do, and I'm going to have to get this guy less involved in the offense. I think that Russ shows up, and the fact that Russ plays as hard as he plays, the fact that Russ is still, at 36 years old, really athletic, the fact that Russ is the professional that he is, the fact that Russ can still get downhill and still play fast and speed that Miami Heat offense up. He would have Eric Spoelstra looking at him going, is Davion Mitchell my starting league guard? I ain't saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he's not, but Russ will have him in camp. Russ will have Spo in camp going, I gotta really consider Russ being my starting league guard. I got to consider that, considering what Russ does in terms of everything. He's not the defender that he used to be. He's not the athlete that he used to be. But I can tell you one thing as a fact, Ox, that effort, you are going to get it. There are no days where Russ is dogging it. There are no days when Russ comes in here and he's just kind of playing. No, right. Russ is the consummate professional. Russ is going to give you everything, every day, all day. So I love Russ as an addition to the Miami Heat. But what Russ did was, he limited himself because he told everybody that he wants to be closer to home. If I'm not mistaken, Ox, if I'm not mistaken, Ox, I think he's 4th or 5th all time in NBA history and money made in the NBA. So I ain't playing for bread, Ox. I ain't doing that. I got plenty of dough, right? I got plenty of dough. I'm just trying to stay closer to home. So teams like Milwaukee, out. Even though I love him in Milwaukee. Miami, out. Because I'm not interested in moving across country. If he ended up in the Boston Celtic training camp, I mean, I know how you feel about Anthony Simons, but my man, you're going to have to earn that lead guard spot if Russ is there. Because don't think for 1 second that they just going to give you the ball with Russ there. Because I can see Russ going into training camp and busting his ass. I could see that happening. And them in Boston going, did we get this wrong?
I could see that. I would like to see a depth chart at the PG with Russ and Davion. I think that's just, you got one dog, you bring in another dog. Let this dog rest, bring in that dog. They would definitely cause a lot of ruckus.
Yes,
a lot of ruckus.
100%.
If you're just getting here, y'all, you know where you are. You know what time it is. We're talking just good basketball right now. I want to remind y'all that we will be doing a WNBA playback. We're going to be doing the Aces versus the Mystics later on. So y'all come pull up and enjoy that with us. Now, we are here to talk about a guy that just retired. One of my favorite players, John Wall. How did you feel about John Wall while he was playing? Were you high on John Wall? Did you like his game?
Ox, you grew up. You grew up where you grew up, and for the people that don't know, Ox, where did you grow up?
Northern California, Sacramento.
So Ox grew up in Northern California, and we're growing up in Northern California. Ox is listening to we got E40, we got Too Short,
the GOAT, right? E40, the GOAT.
We got E40, we got Too Short, right? We got the Loonies, right? We got groups like that.
Jacka,
Sebo, right? We got guys like that, and in the process of you having guys like that, like guys like Rapping Forte and Mac Dre, right? Mac Dre. But when you got guys like that, guys like Rapping Forte go to the wayside. Rapping Forte was dope. But we ain't really paying attention to him. Why? Because E40 is hot. Too Short is hot. right? All of these other dudes is hot. Like, we ain't really paying attention to Spice One like we should be paying attention to him, right? And Spice One was super dope. So I think the fact that John Wall, when he came into the league during the pantheon of league guards. So we got Russ. I mean, we got Curry. We got Chris Paul. We got Russ, right? We got Curry, Chris Paul, Russ, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, Rondo. Like, these are the guys that's running around when John Wall is running around, right? So with him running around, with them dudes running around, we ain't really paying as much attention. We ain't really paying as much attention to John Wall as we should be. And we should be paying more attention to him. But Washington isn't that good because they're building something. Meanwhile, I got a 6'4" lead guard who is a ridiculous athlete. He's not a good athlete. He's not a great athlete. He is a ridiculous athlete. In addition to him being a ridiculous athlete, can finish with both hands at the rim, particularly with the left hand, will throw it on your big man, flying by your lead guard. And on top of him doing all of that, what he will do is he plays defense. He's one of the better defending guards in the game. John Wall had a 6-year stretch, but he was 20-9. Like, if we got a 20-9 dude running around in the league today for 5-6 straight years, how are we talking about him? We got a 20-9 dude, right? A 20-9 dude that's an all-league defender for 6 years running around. Meanwhile, we paying attention to these guys over here. John Wall was nothing short of fantastic, but the problem is again, he comes in the league with the pantheon of league guards that are running around. And in addition to having the pantheon of league guards running around, he's also playing in the Eastern Conference with LeBron James running around and Kyrie Irving running around. So that doesn't help at all. But there was a time when we were having a conversation about them being the best backcourt in the game. Even though I don't think that they were ever better than Curry and Clay, but we were having conversations about them, about Bradley Beal and John Wall and Damian Lillard and CJ McCullough. We were having conversations about Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan and Brad Beal. We were having real conversations about these two, like they might be the second best backcourt in the game, the third best. That's how good John Wall was. And I don't think that we talk about, and Ox, I think you can attest to this, I don't think that we talk about the mental aspect of the game and mental health. Just so you guys know, John Wall lost it was during COVID. John Wall lost his mother and he lost his grandmother, and he ended up having a season-ending injury. I know how you guys feel about athletes, that athletes are basketball players, football players, that they superhuman. Just so you guys know, ball players are people. They just like you and me. It just so happens that I could run faster than you. It just so happens that I could jump higher than you. But I got the same problems that you had. That's all.
Wow. Shit, I wish you would have been here on the panel yesterday, because we had this conversation. It got really kind of went too far because people act like NBA players aren't human beings. Like they're,
I'm just like you. I just so happen to be able to run faster than you, right? I just so happen to be able to jump higher than you. But it's really interesting that when you look at, as an NBA player, I never played in the NBA, but as a ball player, if you look at a ball player, if you ask them, what happens when you don't eat for a while? Well, I get hungry. What? I do too. That's interesting. What happens when you hear a song on the radio that you like? You start dancing to it. What? I do too. I like that, right? So you guys are a lot. People don't realize that in terms of athletes, we are a lot more alike than we are different. I just so happen to have a pretty good skill. I have a distinctive skill that, and my job is on TV. Other than that, I'm not that much different than you. And I think that those Washington Wizards teams, with John Wall being as good as he was, I think that those Washington Wizards teams, they got overlooked because of how good Boston was, because of how good Cleveland was. And, in addition to John Wall going through what he was going through, to be honest with you, and I'll say this, I'm surprised he survived it. I mean, to lose your mother, then to lose your grandmother, who was his heart, by the way, and then to have a season-ending injury with COVID going on, where we're locked in the house. We're all locked in the house. Nothing going on.
He spoke on that, Chill, and he almost didn't. He spoke on that.
That's really difficult to go through, and I think that a lot of people don't recognize that. But what I want to recognize about John Wall, John Wall, I think him, Walt Frazier, Marbury, him, Walt Frazier, Marbury. I know I'm leaving some guys out to retire, averaging 20 and 8 for their career. There's not many guys that did that, right? There's not many guys that did that, but I definitely think John Wall is not underrated. Let's make sure that we clear on that, because I think that people throw the word out of underrated. They throw that word out a lot, and instead of using the word underappreciated. And the reason why he's underappreciated is because we were paying attention to guys who definitely deserved it, but we kind of lost sight of these other guys. And John Wall was one of those guys who we lost sight of. He was fantastic.
Right. Chill. I just want to say, like, I felt obviously, basketball has been great basketball all for a long time. Great basketball. I just when I was coming up and playing the AAU and just traveling around the country, I feel like I came up. I was blessed to be able to be around that time when there was guys like I don't know if some of y'all can laugh about what happened with DeAndre Jordan and all that, but Brandon Knight, Brandon Jennings, OJ Mayo, John Wall. John Wall's just
a phenom, by the way, just so you guys
know. He was a phenom. John Wall was only a few months older than me. You know what I'm saying? James Harden, all these guys, man, and just seeing that level of basketball, it was amazing. John Wall was one of my favorite players, even though he's barely older than me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just these dudes were just so good at basketball, Chill. And what I want to do, Chill, is I want to do a John Wall versus the field.
Yeah.
Oh, also what I meant to say too was this. Another thing that really hampered John Wall, first and foremost, was Paul Pierce breaking his wrist. I know he was an older Paul Pierce, but they couldn't get something.
Though. He still was good. He was real good.
Paul Pierce, he broke it or hurt his wrist, whatever it was. And then Al Horford getting that damn offensive rebound. God. Oh my God. I've always loved Al Horford, but on that day, I hated Al Horford. I was so disappointed. But shout out to Al. Let's do John Wall versus the field. Yeah. If you want, you can just say who you got, or you can expand on it, whatever, however you want to do it. Let's start with I got about 13 names, I think. Let's start. John, and so let's do it like this, Chill. Let's not do a full career. Let's maybe do like a 3-year peak. So like John Wall, 15, 16, 17. Okay. And then you choose the 3-year peak of the guys that I'm gonna say.
Sure.
Okay. We'll start with obviously Rajon Rondo.
Rajon Rondo's 3-year peak. I think that was when he was with the Celtics. I'm taking Rajon over John Wall. Yes.
Okay. Trae Young.
3 years. The defense is so good. But Trae Young, ooh. I'm going to take Trae.
Ooh. Kevin Johnson.
I'm going to take KJ.
Baron Davis.
I'll take John Wall. BD was hell to deal with, though, as a bucket getter. Oh my goodness, he was hell to deal with. He was hell to deal with. But I'm gonna take John Wall. Yes, sir.
Kemba Walker.
This is a tough one for me, Ox, because Kemba Walker would fry you. But I feel like John Wall, I just think he impacted games more. I'm gonna take John Wall. Kemba was smaller. Kemba wasn't the defender, even though neither was Trae Young. I just think Trae Young impacted the game on the offensive end a little bit more than Kemba Walker did. I'm gonna take John Wall over Kemba Walker.
Okay. De'Aaron Fox.
Foxy. I'm taking Foxy. Yes, sir.
Foxy the closest thing to John Wall.
Yes.
That I see.
Foxy. Yes, sir.
This one right here has been causing a real uproar, Chill. A real uproar on Twitter, internet, and that's the MVP, Derrick Rose.
Over John Wall, I'm gonna take Derrick Rose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll take Derrick Rose over John Wall.
one of my favorite point guards. Well, I'm about to have two of my favorite point guards back to back right here. Chauncey
Mhm.
Billups.
I'll take Chauncey. Yes. The big shot making plus him on defense. I'll take Chauncey over John Wall. Yes, sir. Hmm.
Okay. And obviously, I got to put Watt's very own Dre Miller.
I don't think the passing over. I don't think the passing overtakes all the other stuff John Wall did. I'm going to take John Wall over Andre Miller. Yeah.
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. Yeah.
Okay. John Wall's clamping Jalen Brunson. But okay, JB, shout out to JB.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry.
I thought John Wall was better than him. I always felt like that. I always thought when we were having during this time 14, 15, 16, 17, I thought John Wall was better than him. Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. Throwback here to Mike Bibby.
No, as good as Mike Bibby was, I don't think that was better than John Wall. No. I'm taking John Wall over Mike Bibby.
Okay, we got just a few more. Mark Jackson.
Well, if I'm saying what I said about Andre Miller, I got to say the same thing about Mark Jackson. The passing isn't enough. Even though Mark Jackson was an elite distributor, I'm going to take John Wall. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you in the chat. I didn't have him on the list, but we're going to add him. John Moran.
I'm taking John Wall. Yes, I'll take John Wall.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now this in the chat. I did have him on the list, Jay Breezy. Rod Strickland.
Strick was so nice with the peel. But again, if I'm staying consistent, if I think the ball handling between Strick and John Wall, I think that there's a gap. But I think that John Wall, I think he was better at the other stuff. Yeah.
Chill. The chat's throwing names I didn't think about.
Yeah.
I got to put Tony Parker in here too. I did not put Tony Parker on here.
I'll take John Wall. I mean, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll take Tony Parker. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take Tony Parker.
I'm not gonna keep adding names, y'all. I'm not gonna keep adding names. Just gonna give the last two that I got on the list. Kyrie Irving. I'm sure I know where you're going at that one.
I'll take Irv. Yes, I'll take Irv.
Okay. And the last one on the list, Darren Williams.
I'm taking Darren Williams. There was a time we was having a real conversation about Darren Williams being the best league guard in the game. That was going on. That was a real conversation between him and Chris Paul. We was really having that conversation. Yes, sir. That was a real conversation. Even though he wasn't the athlete that John Wall was, great finisher, was able to stretch the defense a little bit more, elite passer, would defend. He wasn't the defender that John Wall was, but he definitely could defend. No doubt about that. So, yes, I'm taking Darren Williams.
Okay. Yeah. I hear you, Chill. I don't think I could take D. Will. Oh, he was so cold though. So cold.
Ice. As ice. Yikes.
Well, shout out to John Wall. It was a hell of a career. Wish it would have been a little healthier towards the end. Man, shout out to him. Moving on though, Chill. Which scenario is most likely? I just recently did a stream about how I feel about the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm very high on them, Chill. I'm very high on them. I want to know, Chill, which one is most likely, to happen for this Los Angeles Lakers team? Luka Doncic wins MVP, regular season MVP, as well as Finals MVP. Austin Reeves makes an All-Star team, or DeAndre Ayton becomes a 20-10 guy, averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds. Which one of those three scenarios are the most likely?
We've already had this conversation about Luka being the preseason league MVP, and we saw him get passed over at 34-9-9. We saw him get passed over at 29-8-7. We saw him get passed over at almost 30 a game, and taking teams deep in the playoffs. I don't think the Lakers are going to be that good in order for him to be that legit in the conversation for the league MVP. As long as SGA is running around, as long as Joker is running around and playing at that high level, as long as Giannis is running around and playing at that level that he's playing, I just don't think that Luka is going to be in that space. Now, the Finals MVP, I think that it could happen, but I don't think that it's likely. Austin Reeves average. I got 20. I think I got 25 and 6 from Austin Reeves last year. He ain't sniffed the All-Star game. They finished third in the Western Conference. He ain't sniffed the All-Star game. So I don't think I'm getting I don't think it's getting better than that. Right? Even if I get another 20, even if I get another 20, 5-5 season, if I get another 25-6 season, I'm not sure. Because the Western Conference is so loaded with guards, it's gonna be hard for him. It's gonna be hard for him to make the All-Star team. It's gonna be really difficult. In terms of, Norman Powell, I saw what Norman Powell did, and he got passed over. So I think it's gonna be really hard for him to make the All-Star team. I've said this to you before, Ox. It's a money year. DeAndre Ayton has told us numerous times what he about. DeAndre Ayton has told us numerous times that he about that bread. That's what he's about. And we're in a money year right now. So I don't think it's ridiculous to think that I could get 19 to 22 and 9 to 12 rebounds on a Tuesday. That's not ridiculous. I've said this to you in the past, Ox. I think he's going to get 6 to 8 points just rim running, like what Anthony Davis did. I think he's going to get 6 points, 8 points a game, just rim running. And I think that they've gone over that. Him and James have gone over that. Just run to the rim. When the ball comes off the glass, run. More times than not, there's going to be a smaller guard back there or a small wing. Go run right to the rim, pin that guy, and I'm going to get you the basketball. That's 6 points right there, right? And then him and Luka playing in that pick and pop, pick and dive, I think that that's going to be instrumental for them winning. So I could see him getting another 6 points out of that. And then on pick and dive, and then at the free throw line, because I think he's going to get to the free. I wouldn't be surprised if he got to the free throw line more. He didn't get to the free throw line at all when he was in Portland, and I think that was largely due to them playing away from the basket. I think he's going to play more around the basket now than he did in the past, and I think he's going to get to the free throw line a lot more. So I think it's more likely to see DeAndre Ayton at averaging 20 and 10 than any of those other guys doing what they were going to do.
I think I agree with that. I think I agree with that one, sure.
Mm-hmm.
We got some news, y'all. The investigation is over. But the Eastern District of New York has cleared Malik Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer a target in the federal gambling investigation. So that potentially reopens the free agency for him. Shout out to Malik. That's what's up. That's the American justice system. Went through the due process. They investigated and they cleared him. So he's innocent as far as I'm concerned. Who can use Malik, Jim? Who should go after Malik?
There's a number of different teams that I think could use him, and I think that he would be. I think that Brooklyn could use his services. I think Indiana could use his services. Detroit already gave his money away, but he would be great in Orlando. They would love him down there in Orlando. I think Atlanta's good. He could be good. I think he'd be good in Chicago. Coming off that bench, because the Miami Heat just got rid of Duncan Robinson. Enter Malik Beasley. So, and all the money is gone. So with all the money being gone, I think that he's in a space now where I don't think he's accepting a minimum deal. I'm not going to go that far. But what I am saying is that I think that something in the space of 15, 16 million, I think that's over. I think we're looking at I think we're looking at something between like 7 to 10 million. And to your point, Ox, so just so you guys know, when the feds investigate you, right? When the federal government investigates you, this isn't the city police. No, this is not that. This is the federal government. They dig into every aspect of your life, Ox. They want to know who your son's friends are and those parents of your son's friends. They want to know who your wife's friends are. And they check the bank accounts of your wife's friends. They're looking at everything. They take a fine-tooth comb and a microscope and they dig into your life. And when they did that, come to find out, you know what? You're with this. Maybe just some nights you just sucked. How about that?
Right.
And
you
nights you just sucked.
With that being said, Chill, because the feds they'll freeze your mother's bank accounts. Tell me what happened, or she'll never see this money again. They'll threaten. They'll do everything. They'll do anything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now we just spoke about this due process and all of that. He's been cleared, right? We've seen people be cleared and still be guilty in the public eye. O.J. Simpson, just to name one. I mean, that was murder. This is
Sure.
gambling. You know, obviously I'm not comparing him to O.J. Y'all, please
Sure.
calm down. But what I'm saying that to say, do you think that there might be some teams out here that are like, nah, we can't risk it. Yeah, maybe he was found innocent, but we're not gonna take him over here so he can be over here throwing game, telling all his homeboys to put $10,000 on the unders. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, MPJ has been doing a lot of talking and exposing about how it goes down. You know what I mean? So and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's coming straight from the horse's mouth. You know, so is that possible, Chill? Is it possible that Malik doesn't get signed to an NBA contract this season?
I don't think it's I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. And the reason why I don't think it's likely is because what he does, those surfaces, it's really difficult to ignore. I mean, he was just, if I'm not mistaken, he was the second best long ball shooter in the game. He's 28 years old. He keeps himself relatively he's always been in good shape, so he keeps himself healthy. So with that being said, it's hard to ignore that. Now, don't get me wrong, Ox. There might be 28 teams that's like, no, we ain't interested. But Ox, last I checked, I can't play for 28 teams. It's only one team. I only need one team to go, you know what, we interested. And I think that there's more than one team that's interested, but I think that we got to let this thing die down. Ox, I said to you, and you kind of roasted me for it, and it's interesting that it's coming to fruition, because I said, I'm Detroit, I'm going to wait on giving this money to Duncan Robinson. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to let this thing play out. Come to find out, this thing played out, and we ain't had nothing to do with it. And with him having nothing to do with it, you could have got him back. It's a risk, Ox. 100%. It was a big time risk to take to find out whether or not, because if he was involved in any of that, I mean, you end up losing Duncan Robinson. You lose Karis LeVert, right? You lose those guys. And that's a huge risk to take. I was willing to take that risk because I'm thinking to myself, why would he do that in a money year? And so the money year is coming up, and this was the year before when he was in Milwaukee. So the money year is coming up, and I understand MPJ saying what he said, and he's saying that from experience, but he's saying that from experience from a brother who's got way more to gain and less to lose than a guy like Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley, right? I'm going to play 10 more. I'm going to play, is he 28 years old? I'm going to play possibly 7, 8 more years. I got way more to lose, and I'm going to be instrumental. So why would I risk this little bit of money in this year, and then I got a money year coming up next year where I'm going to ball out? Why would I risk that for, all right, Ox, hey, we got Charlotte tonight, and you know what? I'm busting these dudes' ass. They got me at 50, they got me at 15. Take the over and put 20 racks on it. Why would I risk that when I know that I got a money year coming up, and in this money year, I'm looking at close to 50 million? Nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't that slow. And I don't think Malik Beasley was that slow. No, I don't.
Yeah, I sure hope somebody comes and grabs Malik. I will say that, well, I'm just not a very trusting person, Chill. So as far as I'm concerned, it'd be bad for me. I'm not signing you. You know? But hey, y'all know I don't own any basketball team, so it doesn't really matter what I think. You know,
and I think too, Ox, you're not signing me right now, but if you let me, because this can go away. Like, this isn't something that's going to stay on me. This could go away. This at some point, you know, I can ball again and get busy again, and then come to find out I got a contract year, and you might need my services. And come to find out, I ain't got nothing. I didn't have anything to do with that. You, as an owner of a team, Ox, you did your due diligence. You did your homework, and you found out I ain't had nothing to do with that. So you're like, you know what? Maybe I will take a chance on you.
Yeah, definitely. But the first sign, the very first sign that you're leaving the game early or anything happening, you better play through it, because you will be done around here. But you know, before we get to the lobby, Chill, let's talk about our blast from the past player today. And today, y'all, it's none other than Al Jefferson.
all I hear is, Al Jefferson is Al Jefferson. I heard he was nice as hell. Who is this Al Jefferson dude, Joe? Who is this dude? I heard he was nice as all hell though. I heard about him. I heard stupid box work, like not good box work, not great, stupid box work. I heard that your best big man, go get him. I'll bust his ass. I'm a glass cleaner. I mean, who is this dude, Ox?
I mean, that's who he is to me, Chill. When you said that if somebody said, explain to me who Al Jefferson is, I would just say 2 words: block work. Block work. Al Jefferson, one of the nicest. I mean, one of the nicest I've seen on the block, Chill. Catch the ball, left hand, right hand, up and under, jump hook, open up, spin move, strong, aggressive, physical, and violent at the basket. Violence. That's what I like to see. I like to see you being violent going to the rim. And I'm talking about finishing to the rim, not finishing like this and that LaMarcus Aldridge stuff. Not that. I'm talking about if you're right here, then you're getting hit because I'm going to the rim.
Yep.
That's Al Jefferson.
And he was a bucket getter too.
At the time, how did you feel about Al? Like at the time, were you always high on Al Jefferson, or do you kind of just sometimes remember like, man, Al was nice. I should have paid more attention to him.
Well, I did recognize. I mean, he ended up getting traded for Kevin Garnett, so I did end up, paying more attention to Al. It wasn't like I was just watching the Boston Celtics. But when it was when he got to Minnesota, and then when he went to Charlotte is when I was paying the most attention to him, because it looked like they were running more stuff for him. His box work had improved, his footwork had gotten better, and there was a game that I vividly remember. I remember they played against Brooklyn, and he just gave them the business. And I was like, I got to start paying more attention to this dude, Al Jefferson. Because you know how I feel about the big man, Ox. And you know how I feel about footwork when it comes to the big man. Throwing him the ball on the block and him just getting busy. And that's who Al Jefferson was. Al Jefferson was that guy that if you're a coach, I mean, if you're a player and you miss Al Jefferson on the box, you got to come sit down.
Yeah, come on.
You got to come sit. If we go 2-3 trips and he doesn't touch the ball on the block, get him, Ox. Let's go. He got to come sit down because our offense, we can run our offense through him. Now, don't get me wrong. Was he Shaq good? I ain't going that far. Was he Anthony Davis good? I'm not going that far. But I can tell you one thing is a fact. If you need a bucket and we're in the meat and potatoes of the game and you need a bucket, I can tell you right now, get Al on that left block and let him go to work. Move out the way, run some cross action, and give him some room. And Al is going to get you a bucket. He's one of those bigs. There's not many like that in today's game that you can go to 2-3 straight trips and get a bucket. Al was one of them dudes. He was that good.
Yes,
shout out to Al Jefferson.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Al Jefferson, definitely. All right, y'all. Let me get to this super chat real quick. From Tupac Westside, he says, I got to see prime John Wall. The dude was a flat-out superstar. Injuries just held him back.
He was like a superhero, yo. To be honest with you, Ox, he was. In terms of his athleticism, it just didn't look real. It looked like I said about James in 2009, where James was on fast forward and everybody was on regular speed. That's how John Wall was. Like he was running past everybody. Like, damn, how fast is this dude?
Right, man. I'm trying to remember what AAU team John Wall played for Racine. I think he was on D1 Greyhounds or something like that. I can't remember. Man, John Wall was incredible.
Yeah.
He was in person, like back in those days, John Wall and Brandon Jennings, you couldn't tell me nothing about those dudes, man. They were incredible. But let's get to this. Let's get to the lobby. Let's get these guys up here so they can come chill with you. We're gonna start with my man, Rock Out Deuce. Yo, Deuce, what's up?
What's up, fellas? Hey, Ox, real quick, because you left his name out. And I feel like they play exactly similar. Who's better, De'Aaron Fox or John Wall?
No, we said Fox. We talked Fox.
Oh, y'all said Fox?
Who
did y'all pick?
I picked Foxy. I did. I picked Foxy.
I feel like Fox more of a bucket version of John Wall. I feel like that's the difference. But what I wanted to get to was Chill. It seems like me and you are the only two people that's kind of big on Zach Edey and have hope in him. Everybody else just hate him because of how big he is and his mistakes are loud. But I feel like Zach Edey is great. What do you think Zach Edey looks like at his peak?
First of
And
all,
what?
I just got the job. Okay, I don't even know how to play pro basketball yet, so I just got the job. But I do know how to play basketball. I do know how to rebound. I do know how to rim protect. I do know how to run the floor. I do know how to do that stuff. So once I actually learn the pro game and the game starts to slow down for me, we're going to be much better because I make up for a lot of deficiencies. That the Memphis Grizzlies have. So, I mean, at his peak, I don't know what he looks like at his peak, but I can tell you that, I mean, as time goes on, the buckets are going to go up. In addition to the buckets going up, the rebounding is going to get better, which is going to speed Memphis up and make Memphis faster. Because we can't have athletes like Gigi, Ja, Brandon Clark. We can't have athletes like that and we playing slow. No, we can't have athletes like Jaren Jackson Jr. and we playing slow. And that's largely due to Zach Edey, who also will run the floor, who also will get up and down the floor and rim run. So I think that as he improves, Memphis will improve. I'm not sure if he can be an all-star, but I definitely think he's going to be one of the better bigs in the game. Yes. Okay. I'm thinking a tier below Chet at his best.
Okay, I can get with that. Now that you just spoke of tempo about Memphis, I was just watching KCP with Orlando. He's gonna fit in so great with the tempo of the running gun system that Memphis runs. I didn't know he still got up and down the floor like that. He's fast. He's fast. Good on the defense. I think he's gonna be better with Memphis just because everybody talks about his 3-ball being down when he was with Orlando, but they never had a playmaker for him. All the shots that really KCP was making was for himself, and that's not KCP's game. Now that he has a playmaker like Ja on the team, I feel like he's gonna get right back in there as a 3-point shooter. He's gonna be better, and he's gonna fit right in with this Memphis team.
Ja jump shot got to improve this year too.
Yeah,
I gotta see Ja shoot the ball better this season coming up. And if I see Ja shoot the ball better this season, I think that your boys are going to be better because it was almost like Ja. I mean, his passing got better. I didn't give, like I've said this to you in the past, I didn't give Ja enough credit for the distributor that he is. But his jump shot looked like he just went on vacation. Like we couldn't find it. One minute he could knock down the mid range, and then the next minute he can't throw it in the ocean. So Ja's got to get more consistent, and I think that the way he does that is in specific spots where he can get to. Because nobody can really stay in front of Ja, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Ja get down like that.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to touch up on real quick before I leave. I had a ridiculous conversation the other week. Somebody told me Kyrie Irving is better than Allen Iverson, and I need you Kyrie fans to stop this shit. I need y'all to stop because y'all overrate him and y'all make me sound like a Kyrie hater. And I love Kyrie, but the people that y'all put him over is ridiculous. Just how sexy his game is, I get it, but like Allen Iverson. Come on, dog. I was born in 04. And I know about Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? But putting Kyrie over him is nuts. And y'all need to chill out with that all that overrated.
Is that bogus? Is it bogus as hell?
Bogus as hell. That's bogus as hell. Bogus as a motherfucker. Allen Iverson.
Right on. All right, dudes. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, fellas.
All right. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about Kyrie over Iverson.
I ain't doing that.
That's
No,
a
I'm
stretch
not.
for me.
I'm
I can't do
that.
it. Next up, we got Baller.
Yo, what's going on?
Man?
What's going on, brother? How you guys doing? What's up?
What up?
I wanted to actually ask you guys that question because, obviously everybody's been talking about that whole Kyrie Irving and that Chris Paul. Why, Chill, why do you think that Kyrie gets this love, or there's so much passion for Kyrie that people are they put him above people that he's, in my eyes, he's clearly not above?
The same reason why Curry gets it, because he's way more relatable. Kyrie Irving, I think he's behind James only at Nike in terms of selling sneakers. They love him, and the skateboard kids love him. Kyrie Irving is very relatable. He looked like the everyday guy, and couple that with his game just being so aesthetically pleasing that when you watch him, he looks like you. He doesn't really seem like he's not much different than you, and he's got this super duper skill set in terms of a ball handler that, of course, you're going to turn him into something that he isn't. When in reality, he's a damn good player. But is he Curry good overall? Was he Chris Paul good overall? Nah, I ain't going that far. No, he was not that good. He was awesome though.
When
but
you
he
say
wasn't that
that,
good.
but when you say with the Curry situation, because like for me, I think Curry gets kind of overlooked in certain situations. Sometimes he gets overrated, but a lot of times he gets overlooked. Like when we talk about most skilled players of all time, I feel like nobody even talks about Steph at all. But from my perspective, is that for a guy to be his size with no athletic ability to be, let's say, you know, one of the arguably the top 10 greatest players of all time, you'd have to be one of the most skilled players at that size.
Sure.
Right. So in some ways, I feel like there is some sort of underrated, but I feel like Curry does sometimes get put into certain conversations because of he's relatable, but I feel like with Kyrie, it's a whole different level. Like, I feel like if you're having a conversation between, like, let's say this whole Kyrie and CP thing, I'm like, to me, it's not even close. You have one guy who's been a consistent, like, MVP caliber player for throughout his entire career from the begin, from literally from start to from I think it was 21. He was top 5 in MVP voting, and at 36, he was still top 5 in MVP voting. So you're talking about a guy that was top 5 in MVP voting potentially for 15 years. Kyrie's never even been in that conversation ever.
Top 10, not top 10, not even
Like,
top 10 ever.
like what are we talking about, right? So like for me, it's a simple thing, but for a lot of people, they're like, yeah, but when you watch him play, you see that, you know, when you go to, let's say you go to runs and you see Kyrie play in your own eyes, you're watching, you're like, oh my God, like look at him play.
Yeah.
And when you watch Chris Paul, it's not flashy.
No.
It's simple. But
I think not Kyrie Irving, I'm sorry. I think Curry, what Curry does is Curry's the victim, and I'll hate to hear this from you, but Curry is a victim of his own success because Curry's got this one thing that's just so much better than everything else that everybody else does. So because he's got this one thing that's so much better than everything everybody else does, we overlook how super nice he is with the pill, right? How good he is off the basketball, how good he is as a finisher. Why? Because he does this one thing that's what's going on in the game today, and that's what everybody pays attention to. So we don't pay attention to the other stuff. So I think he gets overlooked in that aspect. Now, as far as Kyrie Irving, like you just said, again, Kyrie Irving is the chick who is so beautiful, but once you get to know her, but then this chick over here is beautiful too, but she don't come with nearly as much of the bullshit. Not nearly as much. So you trying to figure out, like, why are you talking about him? Why are you talking about her and her in the same category? Have you ever been around her? Even though she's fine as hell, don't get me wrong, she's so much fun to be around.
Yeah.
Nah, she ain't her. No, she ain't like that. So I can dig
it. It's funny because even when it comes to like the Curry situation, I remember like before Curry be kind of like elevated into that like next level of like greatest shooter of all time, they used to talk about Kyrie and Curry being like who was the better ball handler. Like it was a conversation prior to Curry becoming an MVP. Like Curry was in that best ball handler conversation. And it seems like people just forget about him being in that conversation. I think he's without a doubt a top 5 ball handler of all time. And that's in my opinion, because like I've seen what Curry does with the ball. I think he's an incredible ball handler. I think people don't, I think they, like you said, they're so focused on him shooting that they forget what he's able to do with the ball in his hand. And also like even finishing around the rim. If you look at his percentages around the rim, he's one of the best point guard finishers around the rim in like ever. Like his efficiency all over the court is incredible. But like you said, it's like he's a prisoner to what he's good at, and people just focus on that one thing when they forget he's actually a very versatile all around basketball
player. It doesn't help that that's what the game is today too. Like if that wasn't what the game is, we would focus on other stuff. But because that's what the game is today, that's what we focused on.
He made it that way though. Yes. He made that. And I think that's why it's like the staple of his career will be and I think that like somewhat to his detriment is that we're gonna, people are gonna focus on him being, let's say, the greatest shooter of all time, that they forget that he's also one of the greatest players of all time. And I feel like people are gonna focus more on his shooting rather than his playing ability as an all-around basketball player.
Yeah, I agree, but I think his shooting is what makes him that. I think without that shot,
he wouldn't be one of the greatest players of all time without that shot.
And that's not me trying to knock him at all. I'm just saying there's a reason they focus on that, because that's what makes him one of the greatest players of all time. Without that jump shot, he wouldn't be
100%.
He wouldn't even be in those conversations at all.
100%.
Why we talk about Jabal, Ox? Why do we talk about Jabal?
That's sky hook.
That's why. Why we talk about Magic?
Because his passing ability, the open quarter transition. If you take Curry's gun away, he's not in the fight no more.
That's his superpower.
No, but my thing is, it's not about him not being. It's the fact that like if we talk about Steph Curry, the first conversation isn't going to be he's one of the greatest players of all time. It's going to be he's the greatest shooter of all time. He's the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. And it deservedly so, but it's like he's so much more. There's so much more to him than just his shooting that we overlook everything else that he does as an all-around basketball player a lot of the times. And it's unfortunate. Even with Kyrie, sometimes I feel like we focus a lot on his ball handling and how it looks, that we don't look at his all-around basketball game as well. We focus on that one thing that he's good at, or that one thing that makes him great, that takes him over the top. But like, if you take away Steph's like ball handling ability, if you take away his ability to finish at the rim, if you take away his leadership qualities or his passing and playmaking, he wouldn't be one of the greatest players as well, right? Obviously, the shooting is the number one skill, and like he's by far the greatest shooter of all time. Never going to question that. But if you take away those other intangibles, you wouldn't call him, people wouldn't have him in the top 10 or top 12 players of all time. They just wouldn't, because he needs all of those things to make him all around like all-time great basketball player.
Right on. All right, brother. Appreciate you, fam.
Yes,
Appreciate you, dog.
I have a lot of good points, my guy. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Take care, Bryce. Take care. Later, guys. Peace out.
All right. Yeah. Okay, I see where you're coming from. Let's see who we got next. We got AKA Leroy. What's up, Leroy?
Yes, sir.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you hot.
Okay. I just got one question, and I thought about it yesterday, and I could be convinced, but when you think of, let's say, from the 2019-20 season, so like the start of the decade until today, right? You was to make 3 teams, like a first team, second team, third team. Is Jimmy Butler on one of those teams?
Yes. From 2019-2020, from the beginning of the 2019-2020 season up until the 24-25 season, yes, he is.
Because I feel like people, because of what happened last year in Miami and Golden State, people forgot like what he actually did. And he didn't even play in the 24 playoffs, so you can't really use that against him because of his MCL sprain.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Absolutely.
And one more thing. I seen the conversation the other day about the most like skilled player on the panel. And I can't believe that they're saying Dame is the least skilled. I don't understand it because I genuinely think being clutch is a skill to me. Some people can do it, some people can't. You know what I'm saying? And his deep range shooting is so good that I think it outweighs a lot of the footwork stuff they were saying for Jalen Brunson. And I don't know. I just don't understand.
Is being clutch a skill, or is being clutch a result of whatever skill you have? Because I'm not sure if being clutch is a skill. Like when you tell me that I'm clutch, or when you tell me that I'm a fighter. Okay, so with me being able to get in the ring and fight, I mean that's a result of me being brave. That's a result of me, even though I might not be as brave as the other person, but I'll get in the ring and do it. Okay. So I'm not sure that being clutch is a skill. However, however, being nice with the peel is a skill.
Yeah.
Being able to decipher defenses is a skill. Being able to get into the teeth of the defense, being able to make one move and not have to do a whole bunch of other things, and recognizing that's a skill to be able to do that. And I'm higher on Dame than a lot of the guys on the panel. Yeah. I'm a big time Dame guy.
So how I would combat that is, this might be a stupid question, but just follow what I'm saying. Who do you think is the better shooter, Steph or Dame?
I think that overall, Steph Curry is the better shooter overall.
Okay. Who would you trust with the last shot, Steph or Dame?
With the last shot, who would I trust more? I would trust Dame, interestingly.
So that's why I say it's a skill, because Steph is a better shooter, which is another skill. But on top of his amazing skill of shooting, he has that branch off, which is, you know what I'm saying, that clutch gene. Because not everybody who could shoot has that gene, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Curry, it does. It 100% does. But Curry has made some big-time shots.
You're right.
Some go-ahead shots. It just so happens that Dame has done it on a stage where, you're moving forward. He's made some buzzer beaters. I could get with that. Yeah, I could definitely get with that.
But that's all I got.
All right, yo.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate you, fam. Okay, and last but certainly not least, Coming up to the stage, we got my main man, the Brim Reaper himself, Leaf Diggy.
What up?
What's going on with y'all, man?
What up?
Just on my little break, man. I got another job. I've been busy lately, man. That's why I ain't heard too much from me. But
How you settling in down there in Texas, yo?
I'm settling in. I'm all settled in, man. I got the furniture. My mom's is excited. She sent a whole bunch of kitchen and bathroom appliances and shit. She
Word.
all ecstatic for that and everything. My girlfriend and her daughter made breakfast this morning because I had a 9 to 12 yesterday. So because I
You
had
you
a
you need anything, Leaf? Need me to send you any housewarming, anything? What you missing?
I'm just only thing I need is a microwave and a washing machine. That's
Mm,
about it. So
mm.
like yeah, but that's about it.
See, hot as it is down there, you don't need no microwave. Put that food outside for about
It'll
3
heat
minutes.
up
You'll
just
be
like
all
that, Ox. It'll heat up just like
Yeah,
that.
everybody say that, but you got to remember the part of middle America I'm in, it get a little like dusty. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like
no
them
Ah,
doubt,
dust
no doubt.
winds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, says I'm right by the Oklahoma, New Mexico side, so like it gets
Right,
a
right.
little gust winds and all of that. So
yeah.
the first time I seen it, that shit blew mine. I was like, I was on the road and I had to stop, come to a full. They tell you to come to a full stop because I drive a
Uh-huh.
box truck. And I was
Mhm.
like, all
Yeah.
right, let me stop this motherfucker. I'm like, before I run off the road or some
Don't
shit.
do,
It
don't
So
took
hurt yourself,
it
Lee. Don't hurt
it took
yourself
me
out there,
over.
yo.
That
nah.
wind over there on the
This
40.
ain't New York highways. This is some different shit. This is some
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
shit.
But
So
what's up though, Lee?
just about the title about John Wall. Y'all already know how I feel about the 2010s players, bro. And John Wall is really no different to me. I think John Wall. I mean, statistically, I mean, everybody's gonna go straight to the stats. I mean, because he was a 20 and 10 guy a lot of times in his league, but compared to the number one overall picks of that decade, I guess of that said decade from when at that time going all the way to now, and compared to the point guards of now, man, I mean, at his very best, he wasn't better than a lot of people to me. I mean, like I thought he was one speed. Mostly when he came into the league. I mean, you Chilltown is 100% right. I think the speed and the athleticism that he was working with. I mean, I feel like he was living off that, and then when he got that jump shot, I mean, I felt like a lot of his game was going left, and then the injuries came. So I
So
feel
answer this question for me, Lee. So Irv, was he better than Irv?
at his very best, no.
Anthony Bennett,
Yeah, he was
Wiggins,
at his very best. Yes,
Cat,
no.
Ben Simmons,
At his very best, no.
Markel Fultz,
At his very best, yes.
Aiton,
At his very best, yes.
Zion.
At his very best, yes. I give
That
him
was
that.
Anthony Edwards.
No. He wasn't ever.
I don't even think we've seen the best of Anthony Edwards, to be honest with you. But
I mean,
anyway,
but the infinite, but the best version of Anthony Evans that we've seen so far, I don't think John Wall at player to player was better than him. No,
how about
I
Cade?
don't. Cade best we just seen, and I think Cade best is better than John Wall's best.
Wow, that's interesting. How about Paulo?
Paulo's best is better than his best.
Vic
Vic best is better than his best. Yes.
and Ricochet.
No.
So we have so of those guys, so I got more than half of those guys in this list that you don't think are better than John Wall at his best, right? And
Yeah.
with that being said, I mean John Wall
Did
was
we throw D Rose in there and
nah.
AD?
D Rose.
I
That's
didn't hear
because
D Rose and AD being thrown
what
in there at
the
all.
reason why is because I just went off of when he showed up. That's what I'm going
Oh,
off.
okay,
Of.
okay, all right,
I'm just
cool.
going off of when he
So
showed up. He
he
showed up in
showed up.
2010.
What year? What draft? He's in 2010, right?
Yeah, he showed up in 2010. That's when he showed up. So I'm only
Okay.
going off. I'm only going off that because like guys like Greg Oden, Boggiani, Andrew Bogut, Kwame
Because I thought
Brown.
I for some reason, bro, I thought he showed up a year after D Rose or something like that,
2 years after D Rose, he showed up.
and a year after Blake Griffin,
Yeah,
right?
Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't think he was better than Blake's best, and I don't think he was better than D Rose best, and I don't think he was better than AD's best.
I don't think he was better than Anthony Davis neither. I'm not gonna argue that point, but
Yeah,
Yeah. So
me
I
neither.
mean,
I do think he was better than Ben Simmons though.
I think so too.
at Ben Simmons at his very best,
Yeah,
that's
I'll take.
arguable.
Not the
That's
reason why it's not
arguable.
arguable is because on the defensive side, you're gonna get something similar. I think Ben was a better defensive player, but you're gonna get something similar to him. But and on the
I don't know
offensive side,
about that.
it ain't close. And on the
Yeah.
offensive side, it's not even close.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But
I
Leaf,
mean,
you got anything else though, Leaf? Because we do
yeah.
got
Just the part about the whole Steph Curry. And by the way, I think Zach Edey is about to go off for 20 and 15 this year. I said it. Yes, I said it. And I meant it. So yes, I said it and I meant it. Yes, he's gonna be 20 and 15 guy, bro.
yeah, talk
When
to
he
him, Leaf.
becomes
Talk
that,
to
bro,
him.
you report back to me. Be like, hey, yo, Leaf, man, don't worry about it. I'll send you on your way. But about the Steph Curry thing, Steph Curry is not a he's not he's a victim of his success. But let's be clear, Chilltown, you said this a bunch of times. Steph doesn't get talked about the way that he gets talked about unless because only reason why is because the Golden State Warriors won championships. That's why. If the Golden State Warriors never won championships, he's basically Steve Nash. It's the same shit, bro. Like, I mean, I'm sick and tired of these Steph minions coming up in here, man, like just lifting them up on this
But
branch.
they won championships, Leaf, off the strength of what he did, though. That's the difference.
Did they really?
Yes, they did. In 2022,
I don't think they did. Was he responsible for them being a top 5 defense?
Leaf, yes, he had something to do with that. Leaf,
Oh my God! All right, yeah, and this is the part where we start jumping off the top rope.
Oh, Leaf.
This is the part where we stop jumping off the top rope.
So he had nothing to do with them winning it. So in 2015, that wasn't him when they won the NBA championship.
Well, it wasn't all him. They done it to me. They done that as a unit.
So what about in 2022?
In 2022, yeah. You could give him that, but I mean, it's some credit go to Andrew Wiggins, some credit go to Jordan Poole, some credit go to Gary Payton II.
What about in 2017 when he almost averaged a triple-double in the NBA Finals?
Last time I checked, last time I checked, Kevin Durant won the Finals MVP.
That, but we got to be honest about him.
This ain't hating, man. I'm telling you facts.
No, it ain't.
Who won Finals MVP?
You're not. Come on, man.
Who won Finals MVP?
And they were wrong in 2015.
How they were wrong?
They were wrong, and we all said that they were wrong. And
somebody was averaging 30 and 10 on that team.
Come on, Lee.
What are we doing?
They were wrong. No,
Leaf.
What do you mean? Nah. You going to go to the NBA front office and tell them that they wrong then?
They're wrong about
all right. Well, Leaf, I appreciate you, brother. We do got to move on. Hey, thank you.
Yes, sir. We know what.
Of course, man. Of course, man. Y'all know what it is, man. I'll find y'all again.
Be safe out there, man. That win ain't no joking in box trucks, man. Drive safe, brother.
It really ain't. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ran into a Confederate flag too, by the way, man. I had to get a
Leaf. Hey, stay. All right, I'm good. I'm straight.
Yeah, you be all right, but be safe, man.
Yeah.
I'm already getting the call from Claire. She told me
Claire don't play, y'all.
No, she
Claire don't play. Claire runs a tight ship.
Yeah, she does.
A tight ship. But see, I got to get out of here. I got some things to do before we get on playback. Y'all don't miss it. We're going to see the best, the greatest basketball player in the world, Miss Asia Wilson, playing basketball today. So it's going to be a great day. Come back in a few hours. We'll be here. Chill. Anything for the people?
Y'all know where to find us at. We right here every Thursday and Saturday, me and my man Big Ox. So we'll see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. And if you're ever in the Portland area, you had too much to drink, hit my big fella up. He'll make sure that you get home. He got you covered. So we will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. We take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys today. This is dope.
Peace. See y'all in a couple hours, man. Never, ever, 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 ever drink and drive. Y'all love yourself. Peace.
Yes, sir. Later.